Welcome to the Unstoppable Force podcast.
I'm Guy.
And I'm Rob.
And this week we're going to be talking about Tesla and their big surge week. And they had like a ton of announcements. So things have been crazy with Tesla.
Oh yeah, the biggest thing is the stock market with them, kind of indication of their developments and announcements.
I mean, to say that they grew, like their stock market value went up, would feel like it's an understatement. They literally, over 6 months, have almost quadrupled in value. They were like 228 6 months ago, and right now they're valued at 887, or like roughly around that, because of course there's like aftermarket trading and shit, so it's still adjusting a little bit. But it peaked today, which is Tuesday, the 4th, at $968.99. So not 69, 68.99.
What a travesty! Elon is sad.
I hope that's a meme. I hope that it's like a meme that it peaked and it doesn't cross it for years, but it peaked it.
And just sad Elon. Just, you can never get that.
That's so great. Yeah, 0.01 off of being fantastic as a meme. But I mean, just holy shit! Dude. Like a stock as big as Tesla growing that much, and that's not to mention that we're also not mentioning the fact that just this 1 month it also doubled in price.
Oh yeah.
And then the question becomes why?
Yeah.
Why is Tesla, this massive company that's worth now $800 and almost $90, why is that valued at that price when Ford is like $9.15 or something like that?
Oh yeah.
It's insane how much Tesla is valued at. Is it a bubble? I don't know.
That's a big fear. I see a lot of articles like that too, saying about, and analysts talking about it's a bubble. And I think part of it, it's not solely just hype man. It has to do with that. Not solely. I mean, obviously prospects and whatever the stock market
when Ford
is based
is $9 and Tesla's almost $1,000. Yeah, but I feel like it's Elon that people are investing in.
No, because Ford. Oh no. So the thing is, Ford hasn't done anything to really progress in these the age of Twitter and hype man shit. Okay, when Tesla is coming out with their cybertruck, and now Ford's back a month later saying, oh yeah, we're gonna have our truck or whatever, and now they finally have an electric pickup truck. So I think that it's you think of it as a car company, but that's the thing that Tesla is not, because they're pushing so far in automating cars that it's the technology, and it's a whole different. It's not like a dealership. It's not like car manufacturer. It's not built that way, and it's just completely different.
I guess what I mean more is sure, there's the hype man aspect of it, but I think that when I say investing in Elon, I mean investing in a visionary, CEO, business owner kind of guy. And it's he's not just going to sit on Tesla. It's not just going to make cars. It's going to always be pushing the envelope. He's always going to be coming something new. Always going to be the first one hitting the stage. First one coming out with the new tech. It doesn't matter if they were one of the newest car companies to exist compared to Ford, compared to Chevy, compared to Dodge, compared to GM, compared to all these other companies. And I'm sure I accidentally said more than the same company because they're owned by the same people, and it's all under branches and bullshit. But the point being that those were all car companies, and then the only thing that they ever told investors is hey, we're going to make another car every year. We're just going to make a new model, and we're going to do that. But then Tesla's hey, we're going to make cars, but we're also going to make them autonomous, and then we're also going to start a fucking a drive sharing app, and then we're also going to be investing in all these other companies that are probably going to at some point cross over, and we're going to have solar panels on Tesla cars because they're also producing solar panel technology. He's touching every aspect, and I think that it's really they believe Elon is going to make Tesla not a car company but a fully fledged technology company.
Right.
Just not yet.
Yeah. And like there's also just a bunch of behind the scenes that we don't see either. Like they opened up their Gigafactory 3 in China that started production like basically as soon as they said that when they were going to do it.
That was in like October, right?
Yeah, they said it was going to be like November they're going to start, and they started in October.
Yeah. So I mean, they just came out with that, so their production rate is probably as high as ever, and that's in China. Yeah. So I'm sure that they've expanded their market to China as well.
Oh yeah.
And the more markets they expand into, and they're global too. They're not, Ford is like American car dealership, like we sell in America, but you can't buy like a Ford in China. I mean, you could probably import a Ford, but you can't like go to a local car dealership. I could be talking out of my ass, honestly. I'm pretty sure you can't.
I don't think you can,
because they have like their own proprietary like dealerships and car companies that don't exist in America either.
Yeah.
So I don't think they do. But Tesla's like, hey, we'll take anybody's money. We're not biased.
yeah. If it gets some investors, basically, that's how I see it.
And then they also had the Cybertruck come out, and I think you said that they had like some motorcycle or something.
I think it might just be a rumor, because one
Rumors
of my buddies
make money. Though.
Oh yeah, so this is one of my buddies. He owns a stock in Tesla,
mm-hmm.
and he's like, "Oh, they're just not like talking about like electric bike or whatever." And like it makes sense, like sure, like especially in the market of the electric scooters you see in like all like California, and then like even in Austin they have them, and just on you just like use the app to go and let's use an electric scooter to go around, just pay and do whatever. That's what if Tesla's gonna break into that market, they'll do that too, because they're also working on their batteries like crazy, so they'll put in all this other stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, I think they're going to try to touch every form of vehicle possible. Like, I'm sure that, at some point, once we don't need drivers in these cars and these autonomous vehicles, like, we may even see them, like, building, like, little limos, like, that are just, like, seats facing each other, and there's no driver's seat at all, and no steering wheel at all. Things like that. Like, they're just going to keep coming out with, like, new models of vehicles, whether it's for business only or for consumers.
Right. Yeah,
I think
they
that's
have all
the
their
difference.
Trucks, semis that they're gonna work on. But I just want to kind of bring it back to like the latest news that like.
Yeah, because I kind of mentioned it for a second there.
So they announced their ride sharing app, and like the main goal is stated to just be a fully autonomous fleet. But right now they don't have a fully autonomous car, like autopilot, right? Is what they're calling theirs. So the initial like release, I guess, in the beginning will have drivers and people that own Teslas that will be driving and can use autopilot to assist them. And they kind of like he's breaking into this market. He's like, yeah, obviously, Elon's like, obviously we're gonna have drivers, but then down the road as they make it better and better, then we're not going to need the drivers, and anybody that owns a Tesla can just send their Tesla out,
right,
and just have it make the money for them while they're working on whatever hobby or actual other work that they can do, so they can have an actual second job that's not at like 2 a.m.
I almost want to like kind of focus on the first stage, right? Because you can always talk about the future and like, oh my god, it'll be fully autonomous and stuff like that, and that'd be great, but it has to live long enough for autonomous vehicles to like fully be autonomous and not require drivers to like get to that point where it's like just super viable, the whole idea. Because like right now it's only Tesla cars, so you can't there will be a significantly like larger limit.
Yeah, like
if I'm in New York City and I'm ride sharing to one of these like Teslas, there's going to be a lot less near me,
right?
Just because it has to be a Tesla. But the autonomous features definitely make it easier, but it almost seems like it's better for like long driving. So like if I had to drive an hour to the airport and had to take like a car service, then the Tesla might be better.
Yeah.
But so they still have to compete with Uber and Lyft, and they have a similar business model. So I'm curious, what incentives they're going to give beyond what like Uber and what Lyft give.
Right. So Tesla actually unveiled their own insurance for their own customers, So it's like I think it's like insure my Tesla, or something on those lines.
I mean, it's kind of crazy.
It was in Australia, I think, in Hong Kong, and just recently it came to California, and they're working with regulators and that whole spiel. So they're working on insuring customers of Teslas because they know their system, they know the safety of their cars, they know the autopilot features. So if, like it has the sensing of a car in front of you or any other sort of safety features that are there, they know their own car,
and they can negotiate like a really low rate.
Yeah, exactly. So they can bring down the price of insurance for their customers so that the monthly rates on financing the cars is lower than it would be if you have a Tesla and go to another insurance company.
They're their own insurance company, right? So they would be the company Tesla taking all the people's money for the monthly rate and then paying out money based off of if anything actually happens and they have to insure.
Yeah, I believe so. It's coming right from like there, and like what they're gonna set up as like the Tesla network, and I think that's gonna kind of pool together at some point. It's not very explicit.
I love how Tesla will never like use third party. You know, they're like, fuck third party. We will always make our shit in-house. We will do everything ourselves because then we can keep like prices at as low as possible and like quality as high as possible.
Sort of. I mean, I know they're working with Panasonic with their batteries.
Okay. So, well, like there's certain areas where, you know,
I mean, at that
especially
point,
when there's patent laws and stuff involved.
Well, that and like, I would say bidding wars. You can kind of say like, who's gonna get the better end of the deal working with us, and like who's gonna, you know.
It's a mutually benefited, like, you know, kind of situation between companies.
Oh yeah, because they're gonna work to get the next. Like, you want to be in all the Teslas. Like, what battery doesn't want to be in there? It's not like proprietary, you know.
It's almost like
else.
AMD partnering up with Xbox. It's not really them like partnering. It's more like, hey, we need a chip and a GPU. Who's the lowest bidder with the best spec?
Yeah,
we'll take that. You know,
exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm curious how they're going to handle it, at least initially, and then also on top of that, anybody who can afford a Tesla probably doesn't have to work as an Uber driver. So
so you don't see many as Uber.
Like if you get into an Uber and it's one of the Tesla, like it's a Tesla, it's probably because you spent a lot of money on your Uber and you're getting like one of those like luxury versions or whatever. So I am curious, like, will there even be enough Tesla drivers doing it? And in which case, you know, you may see like Tesla do like a leasing thing where like, hey, we'll lease you a car, but like you have to like participate in our ride sharing thing or something.
Like for like a reduced cost sort of situation.
Right. Yeah. Like make it so your payment is lower if you're participating in it, so that they'll at least have drivers on the road to actually come when you open up the app.
I mean, I know they're like in the business of losing money basically, but that is like a losing money situation where you have to reduce the cost of the car that you're already like so tight on your overhead, and then pay the person that's gonna go drive people around. I feel like if it was,
well, they make some money off of that person driving people around.
Well, I'm just saying if it was a situation where, like in the future, where it was fully, if they had autopilot, then it's like, okay, we'll give you reduced costs, but you need like certain hours of the day to send your car away to go do rides and then come back.
Yeah.
And then you can schedule like, it needs to be 4 hours worth of, you know, ride like giving, and then you don't get a penny out of it. And then it just goes and does it, and then that's it.
Yeah, I think once they become fully autonomous and they don't need a driver, that's when this idea unlocks.
Yeah, I think it, like the proof of concept is in the beginning stages where you have drivers driving the Tesla and the Tesla network. Yeah,
they may be doing this, like you said, at a loss with the anticipation that once they're able to fully autonomize the car, all of their Tesla cars, like then, yeah, when I go to work and my car sit in the fucking parking lot, I would love to have that thing drive people around for like a rate at half the cost of an Uber driver, because who the hell would pay for an Uber driver if I can just have somebody use my car? And then it's all electric too, so it's a lot easier for me to refill my car every night as well, and I don't have to worry about it like going to the gas station, having a person come out and like
But
you know.
But here's the other thing. So, Richie, I was talking about this with him, that what happens when you want to fill your car up, and if you're driving your car around as a new, like, basically ride share for most of the day, like, maybe you won't end up needing to fill it up, but like you can get caught in the middle of the day needing to fill your Tesla up and needing to charge, and now you need to stop for those time period in the middle of the day versus like charging at night.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's like whatever 300 miles.
Well, I guess you would have to schedule yourself and work around your total mileage you have for that day, in terms of like how much electricity you've left, or how much storage you have left in your battery. But yeah, I mean, you'd have to work around it, and it would limit how much money you could make per day. And you'd have to like somehow stop at like a charging station, but charging stations are few and far between, so it's really hard.
Yeah, so that's like a problem. But I guess like, if you know, I can only go this many miles, this next ride is gonna take me close to that miles. You're not gonna take it, you're gonna go fill up or whatever. So it's like, you have to cut your losses. But if it's like a good ride, what if like you get a ride, like you have enough, like a lot of miles, but it's like a ride that's a lot of miles. You're like, damn, I just lost a lot of money like that, but you can't take it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess that like in the app, it would have to be able to like tell how much. It's like weird saying gas is left because it's not gas.
Well, I mean, they tell you
how much electricity is left in the car.
Yeah.
So like if I plug in my route and then I search for cars, it won't give me options that can't do that based off of how much they have left.
Right. I mean, I doubt they'll have you plugging in your phone to the car, because it probably just talks to it without needing to do that.
What do you mean? No, I mean like with an app, like the Uber app.
Nah, I know, that's what I'm saying. No, I know. No, okay.
I'm totally missed what you said.
I was just making a joke that Tesla doesn't need to plug it into your car. It was just a joke.
Okay.
God. No, yeah. So when you like get the ride, it can know like your stats of your Tesla, so it knows how like your range is left, then it'll know if you can.
Because that would be so bad. Like ordering the Tesla, it comes, getting into it, and then it just being like, can't do that ride or whatever. Like you put it into the thing, and it's like, this ride would be longer than like the battery life, and then it just like doesn't let you do it.
Yeah, I mean, they would probably have things that would check beforehand. I would say so. Oh yeah.
Oops. I mean, but yeah, I think it's definitely a really interesting idea. It's kind of like Black Mirror-esque, like when they have like those little pods, like those square vehicles, like driving around. And I would bet money that that's what the taxi of the future is going to look like. It's just going to be a square on wheels.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because it doesn't need a driver. It doesn't need to look pretty. It should just be not cheaply made, but like, obviously like structurally sound, well made, but like, using the least amount of materials and optimizing space and making it like a good consumer experience within the vehicle, regardless of how it looks outside the vehicle.
Yeah, I think Tesla might also have a pricing issue. Like they might have, if they don't have enough cars and drivers, and that, I mean, they might have a tough time pricing everything so low, for like getting the amount of drivers to drive enough.
Right.
So they might be like, okay, we only have so many drivers, but we want to keep them driving, but there's only so many, so that the time's not going to be high enough to pay them enough. So then they have to like price them so low, but there's not going to be enough demand because everybody has Uber that's just going to pay less anyway. I feel like it's going to be a weird situation. And it's going to be considered more like of a luxury. Now you're getting driven in a Tesla. People are going to be like, okay, I'm going in the Tesla. So that's a little classier than just going somebody's like Honda Civic or some shit.
You can get a Tesla right now if you're on Uber. If you get like, I think like the more luxury sedan one. Okay. I don't know if it's just Uber. I think
there's like Black
Uber X.
Well, X is like the normal one.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Well, there's the Uber Pool where like you might have to walk and share with other people. Then Uber X is like by yourself. And then I don't know what the next ones are. It's like Black or like XL or something.
I think XL is like an SUV.
Okay. Yeah.
But maybe Uber Black is like more like luxury car.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. They definitely have a lot of competition, and Uber and Lyft have already proven that the ride sharing model is a bit volatile. So I think I think there's a lot of hype here. I don't think that there's a lot of substance right now. It's a little early to be like pumping the stock as high as it is.
Yeah. Well, I like to like this is a very good obviously comparison with Uber, but the thing that you don't think about is kind of like the autopilot stuff where Uber has been in the background working on this like crazy. Like their end goal is to get to where Tesla is saying they're going to go to. Mm-hmm. So the whole point
Tesla
of like
could
all
be
their
like,
drivers.
They could be like Stadia here, you know, like they're coming in, they're doing big, they're spending a lot of money on marketing, big hype, and then meanwhile, like Uber was already the first one to the scene and has been working on like autonomous cars this whole time, and it's going to come out with like a fleet like a year before, what do you call it? Before Tesla does or whatever, and maybe they'll actually undercut Tesla and like stay really competitive.
Or maybe they realize they have a good chance. Tesla has a good chance because I know that whole situation with Uber, with like the public with like there's an accident with the driving the car, and then like they rolled back a bunch of stuff, and then kind of sets them back, and like people are gonna be way more weary of using Uber.
Yeah.
Versus Tesla, especially when it's been getting a little more and more proven, and Tesla, like the actual driver, like owners of Teslas are using this, and it's like okay, and then versus like Uber just got to roll out this one car that nobody's driving yet, and nobody's tried it. Just the tester, all the testers have been driving it. It's just there's probably more. They feel like Tesla would be more reliable in that sense. I think.
Yeah, Tesla definitely has proven itself outside of the ride-sharing market. Obviously, like Uber's only been in really the ride-sharing market, and now, the food delivery market. But like with Tesla, they have a fleet of cars. They have a brand. They can sell anything that comes out, and Uber can't do that. Tesla could come out with like a fucking like, I don't know, it's like a $250 pen, and people would be fucking hyped.
Yeah.
Like, if Uber came out with a $250 pen, people would be yelling scam. But it's because it's Tesla, there's, like, so much brand loyalty, and there's so much trust, and, like, there's, like, there's almost, like, a bias in that, like, anything that Elon makes must be held to Elon's standard, and his standard is higher than, like, a normal consumer's standard. So, his stuff, when it comes out, is at his level. So there's like an automatic belief that any product that Tesla makes will be at that high quality that you expect from Tesla. And they haven't failed yet. They haven't let anybody down. So they've earned that right to have that prestige as a car company compared to everyone else.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And they've met their goals. Like even like you said, they got that like the Gigafactory done like or started in production a month before they projected or something.
Yeah, I think they've gotten better, but they definitely like kept pushing out all their deliveries on a lot of their cars for a while. And we'll see, especially with the Cybertruck, their promise was I think 2021 or was it 2022? I don't really remember. I think it's 2022. Is Cybertruck?
I think so.
Not next year.
We should probably know this, seeing as how we're reporting on it.
No, it's 2022. No.
We reported on another episode.
Well, I was pretty sure it was 2 years when they announced it. So
yeah, I think you're right. 2022.
So, like, if they hit those deliveries, then sure. Like, then they're still on track. But I don't know. They're iffy. It's just hype. It's like we're gonna do it. It's amazing. We're gonna get all your money up front, and then see what happens in a couple of years. Good luck.
Yeah, I think this was a bit of an anomaly. The surge in the stock price went up, and it peaked, and now that there's no more information, it's just gonna like kind of trickle down.
Yeah.
And then like there's gonna be another piece of information at some point, but I just feel like for the stock to have done what it has done over this last even week, month, 6 months. I mean, this is not normal. This is not common. Even the stock market knows that this is like unheard of for a stock to grow this much and have it be such a highly valued stock. Like even Netflix is worth like $350 or something, like around that. Like imagine Netflix going from that to $960 in only like 3 months.
Dude, yeah, I don't know, man.
It's just it. I don't even. I feel like a train missed me. Like I heard of these things as they came out, but at no point was I like, yes, that means that Tesla should be worth 4 times as much as it was.
I think
in
it's
August.
investors.
It is investors.
I mean, obviously, but like in the sense that it's like hype, but like that's what we see, and we attribute to that. Attribute all this to that, but I don't think it's necessarily that. I think it's what we don't see. I think it's the performance with like gigafactories and openings and all this stuff. Even like nobody thought Cybertruck was gonna have the interest it did. Then it had a whole freaking how many 100,000 people go to do it. It was crazy. But the surge does seem like as if Tesla released the app today, like recently, of the ride sharing, and then like everything was already in place, and like
this is just news.
Everybody wanted it. This is just speculation on this thing that will come out
later. Like this thing could bomb, and we have no idea. Like, I mean, of course there is information we don't know, but I mean, if there is information that we don't know that people are buying stocks on, that's insider trading, that's illegal.
Right.
So, I mean, like anybody, any banks, hedge funds, any investors, Wall Street guys, they know just as much as me. They know just as much as you. They have the exact same information available to us, unless they're insider trading. But like I think it really is an investment in the long-term future of Tesla. Like I guess over these last 6 months, Elon has convinced everybody that Tesla's going to be here for another 50, 60, 70, 100, 150 years. And it's not just going to be a car company. It's going to be in your homes. It's going to be in your lives in every way that Elon can find, his way to weasel into it. So I think they're like thinking of it as like the next Amazon kind of thing, almost like this isn't just a book selling company.
Yeah.
This is going to expand and expand and expand. And Elon has proven that he's damn fucking good at starting companies, and he basically has no failures on his record. Okay. I mean, does he? I mean, he probably has a couple failures, as every good businessman has a couple.
Yeah, and I mean, in the beginnings and stuff, but like not like really notable,
and not compared to the level of success he finds in his businesses.
Yeah.
I mean, like SpaceX is ahead of everything. Every company, every like country. No one is as close to being able to go to Mars than SpaceX. It's mind blowing that we live in an age that a private company is ahead of the United States government and like Russia and shit in space travel.
It really is like kind of I think of Elon as like he's definitely like the Steve Jobs of this like era.
Yeah, and better too because he doesn't have cancer
yet. Okay, bro. Okay.
Don't say those things.
Yeah.
At least we knew Steve Jobs as a douchebag.
Well, no, I think Elon kind of is too.
He is, but he's like a nice douchebag.
No, dude, he's an asshole to people. Yeah. If you don't get shit done, he's mad.
That's true. Like, you don't get shit done if you're a nice guy.
Because I listened really to his biography, that whole thing for Elon Musk, and just like the way he treats people is like he doesn't care about you, he just cares you get your shit done, and he doesn't care how you get it done, just get it done. If you don't get it done, then he's not happy with you. You get the fuck out of here, basically. Like that's just how it works. That's how it is. Like the video of the Cybertruck when that broke, and he goes, "Oh fuck!" Well, like when they threw the thing at the window, right, and it broke the window. Like all the memes were about how the dude that like put the glass in there is fired and or killed. Like that's the joke, but like really he chewed somebody out for that. Probably. Absolutely. And you kind of need to do that to be successful. So but also
I mean, I don't know if you really need to do that. It's definitely been
proven
successful.
To be successful.
Yes.
You don't need to do it, but it's been proven to be successful. And then like having a sort of charismatic or character
vision is huge. Yeah.
Like yeah.
It's like directors, like they always say, directors without a vision is just, I mean, the movie's going to suck. And if the studio gets their hands in there, they don't have a vision, they're messing with the director's vision, and then it ends up this fumbled mess.
Yeah.
But yeah, like having one person like leading everything and being the face of an entire company is so good for a company. Like it is amazing when your leader is always out there. You know, it's kind of like Alexander the Great always being in the front of his forces every time he goes into battle, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be way more cool in the history books, and people are gonna write way more stories about him, and the enemy is gonna be petrified of the guy when he's in the front of the battlefield. But if you have like that leader that's just always in the back and always hiding behind, he doesn't get the crazy stories. He doesn't get the glory. He doesn't get the respect of his like all of his warriors. You know, I think like Tesla or Elon garners a certain level of respect even amongst the employees that he yells at simply because he does so good at his job, and he's always in the foray. He's always hands on. He's always, you know, getting his hands dirty.
Yeah, definitely. Like, think that this definitely this surge, then like Tesla just obviously wouldn't exist without him, but like the success just is not there. And like,
I mean, you don't see like Microsoft's fucking CEO out there like in the middle of like giant events, like yelling and like, you know, doing like shows and tweeting constantly like controversial memey shit.
Yeah.
So he's doing a good job. He's doing a good job.
I think the real answer here is that Elon is a weeb, and we all embrace that, and it went up that way.
He's definitely like the internet's favorite CEO.
Yeah, crazy.
Is he? I mean, he's not even. Is he a CEO? He's
not
a
anymore.
CEO?
I don't.
No, he's just a chairman, or isn't he not the chairman anymore?
No, he was like something. I mean, he got demoted after like that tweet shit that he did about selling the stocks.
But he's still like majority owner, and he's also on the board, I think.
Yeah. Visionary. He's our favorite.
Visionary.
Oh man.
Who even gives a shit, because he could be in any position at the company and he still runs it. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, let us know what you guys think about the stock surge. Do you guys think that this thing is overvalued?
Is it gonna burst? Is it a bubble?
Like, are they gonna like be able to compete with Uber and Lyft? You know, what do you guys think? But yeah, see you guys next week.
As always, thank you for listening and following.
Check us out every Thursday on YouTube, Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, anywhere podcasts are available.
You can find us on Instagram at Unstoppable Force Podcast and Twitter at UForcePod for news and updates.
We'll see you guys next week. And until then, stay unstoppable.